Every 2 seconds, someone in the United States needs blood. Kept in its original container, blood can last for 120 days, and you continually make more if you're healthy. According to the World Health Organization, though, there's many reasons that you may need a blood transfusion. You may need blood if you have, trauma like a car accident or surgery, complications from childbirth like hemorrhaging, some ailments like sickle cell or hemophilia. According to the Mayo Clinic, what sickle cell is instead of your blood cells being round, they are a crescent shape, and those blood cells don't last for 120 days. They only last for 10 to 20. So they die, you don't have enough blood in your body anymore. Cancer patients undergoing chemotherapy also have an issue creating new blood. This leads them to having a low red blood cell count, can lead to anemia. It'll also lead to them not having enough platelets in their blood, which can cause issues clotting if they do get injured. My name is Paul Macklin. I'm a blood donor. I've donated blood since 2013. I try to donate whenever there's a blood drive at my work. So I'm here to talk to you today, about why so much blood is needed and what you can do to help. So blood drives have been going on forever. You'd think they'd have enough stocked up by now. The problem, though, is that blood really doesn't last that long outside the body. Whole blood can last from 21 to 35 days, and it's usually used to treat trauma and surgery. Whole blood, though, a lot of times is split up into its constituent parts, so it can be spread out and help more people. Red blood cells, they can last for up to 42 days. They're refrigerated, and those are primarily used, again, for trauma and surgery, but also to treat sickle cell and anemia. Plasma, it gets frozen, and it can last for up to a year. Plasma is mostly water. It's got some protein compounds in it that are pretty helpful. It's used to help treat burn victims, infections, as well as hemophilia. There's some clotting compounds in there. And then also platelets. Platelets, though, only last for 5 days. They're kept at room temperature in an agitator. And they're used for organ transplants. They're primarily where you get the assistance clotting that's used for chemotherapy patients, and also used for surgeries. Blood also gets used at kind of a crazy rate. The average blood transfusion takes 3 pints of blood, and there's up to 36,000 units of red blood cells used every day. So how can you help? Donate blood and donate often. You can only donate 1 pint of blood. You can only donate it every 8 weeks. So even if your blood doesn't get used, which is probably unlikely, it's still going to be expired by the time you can donate again. So they're still going to need new blood. The donation process, though, they make it really easy. On average, it probably takes an hour or so, depending on the line. Most of that is answering questions to make sure it's going to be safe to use your blood, that you don't engage in a lot of risky behaviors. You don't share needles. You don't have sex for money. If you've lived in the UK, that'll disqualify you because they want to make sure you don't have mad cow. And they also want to make sure it's going to be safe for you to donate. They're going to make sure you don't have heart or lung issues. They're going to make sure they're going to do a little physical on you, check your blood pressure. They're also going to check the iron in your blood. That's really the worst part of the whole process. They squeeze your finger really hard, and then they use a little spring-loaded needle to stab you. And then they just gather couple drops of blood, but that actually stays sore a lot longer than the big needle stick. So they really just do that to check your iron, make sure you aren't anemic yourself, and that you're going to be okay to donate. Once you pass the physical, then they take you in, they lay you down on a nice little cot, and they scrub the needle site for about 60 seconds with iodine and a little Q-tip. And then they stick it in you. That's the part I can't watch at all. That needles creep me out. And then the blood go into the little bag. That kind of weirds me out too. I don't like to watch it like move. Once it's red and I can't see the movement, I'm fine. They cover it up with a piece of gauze for me so I can't see a needle sticking in my arm. So I don't get really anxious in the process. But the needle only has to stay in for, on average, 10 minutes. I kind of like to race. If someone goes in at the same time as me, I want to see if I can get done before them. Usually I can get done in like 7 minutes or so. So you're done there. They take some samples of your blood, make sure you don't have AIDS, you don't have hepatitis. They put a nice little bandage on you, and then it's snack time. They always hook me up with some Keebler cookies and a can of apple juice. Really, they just want you to sit down, have a snack, recuperate. They don't want you to black out on your way out. So, it is really easy. They only ask basically for an hour of your time every 2 months. It's not a huge burdening commitment. That's going to take up all your time. So I've gone over what blood's used for and what you can do to help, and I hope you understand it's really necessary to help maintain a steady blood supply to help people in need. There's actually going to be there's blood drives all over Pocatello, but there's actually going to be one at the Student Union Building next Friday, the 16th, from 1 to 4. And if you've never given blood before, I really urge you to go donate, and try to save a life.